Welcome to the channel again, cartoon car collectors. So we got this a cartoon version of this thing. I reviewed the realistic looking models of those not too long ago. If you want to look them up, the 499p, just search the channel. But this is a cartoon version made by EraQ and possibly another brand. DY Works might be it. I've never heard of that one. So it's another fly-by-night operation. I think very often they just take the same molds. You know, they say they're going to sell 300 of them, and then they close the company down and open up a different company and just release them all over again. So if you miss this one, chances are you'll find it in 5 years or something like that. All right, super rigid cardboard case, so your plastic thing isn't going to crack. Although I kind of feel like it's a waste of money because Ano 64, just has a sleeve around these and they never seem to get damaged. Okay, well, oddly, it's just really messed up. Like it's got some issues going on. Let's see if you can clean that off, or if it actually is scratching from the cardboard box. Paper is abrasive, so those are actual scratches from the cardboard box. So that is another reason why those boxes are not only a waste of money, they actually damage the product that you want, which is the model in a nice case. Right? So those things are not going to come out unless you take some fine plastic polish to it or something and buff the whole top surface. Alright, well anyways, let's move on. So this is an acrylic base. As you can see, it still has the protective plastic. It's got 2 screws holding the model on. I'm not going to take the model off, but it will take the cover off so it gets compared to the photos better and look at the model as well. Oop. These stickers always leave residue too, but I usually just use Scotch tape, regular like school tape to tape these things back together, or use rubber bands and hold the case together. Although the rubber bands might react with the plastic case, so I'm not sure if I advise that. This is a pretty tight cover. Let's see, open it this way. Okay, so that's good. Just look at the nameplate first. It is so reflective, it's crazy. This base and the nameplate is like a mirrored metal. It is a mirror. It's impressive. EraQ is etched in there. That DY Works is etched in on the other side. And then YM Model is actually the company that made this. Yeah, they make other resin models. And so there are around 400 of these. But they might actually have a number 50 version, I'm going to guess as well. But I don't know for sure. And then later on down the road, they might just release this in purple or something. Okay, so yeah, you can see the acrylic base is pretty... Yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's not just they laser cut it, but they actually polish the edges, so you can actually see right through to the other side. Look, you can even see the images back there. So that's a lot of work, polishing the edges of acrylic like that. Let's look at these images and just see how deformed this thing is. I don't know if it's 2 to 1. It might be less than 2 to 1. It seems actually a lot longer than a EraQ would be. I guess the side image is the best. Unfortunately, the image is taller than this model. It's cool. I like it. I like cartooned versions more than the realistic ones. If you go to the review of the fine model 499p, I complained a lot. Mainly because their wheel color isn't even black on those models. I don't know what they were thinking, but this one at least has black wheels. YM Model saw the obvious color of the wheels, whereas Fine Model did not. Let's get the camera down here lower. I gotta see my phone screen to review this. Start with the side view, the front wheel. Yeah, so we have the five spoke wheels. Unfortunately, there's no extra color in the middle. Unfortunately, there's no extra color on the spokes. Like, there's supposed to be green and red on the spokes. It would have been really cool if they got those. But they are molded nicely. You got a center cap there. The spokes also don't have extra flash like the other realistic models I reviewed had. So these are actually better. I kind of wish YM Model made the realistic versions of this thing instead of Fine Model. Seems like there's a brake system back there. Trying to focus on it. Some sort of cross drilling there. Yeah, probably molded in. And then the calipers towards the cockpit, it's like silver. So that looks pretty good. Although if I were to nitpick, it looks like in the images the brake calipers are goldish, like Brembo goldish. All right, now this prancing horse is much better than on the fine model. I mean, that's a nice crisp prancing horse. So this is actually turning out to be a better model than the realistic versions. This one has yellow mirrors though, which is actually not accurate to the number 51 car. The 51 car has black mirrors. So the number 50 car has yellow mirrors. So maybe they did release that one as well. I don't know. Alright, so it's a nice glossy red. What I'm trying to figure out is if the sponsorship is on top or below. I'm just... I don't know. I almost feel like that this horse is under the clear coat, but here, this 51, I feel like it might be above the clear coat. It's hard to... Yeah, I feel it is, but my concern is decals will crack over time, and there might be air pockets behind them as well, so if it's under the clear coat, they're going to be far more durable. Alright, seatbelt there, some black details there. They don't have the vertical piece that's found on the real car, but this is squished quite a bit, so it's fine. I will say, going back to the tires, the decal on the tires was pretty nice, although unfortunately maybe they were too big, because you can see the clearness of the edge of the decal. You can see the air pockets behind it. See, that's not nice to look at. If they made the decals smaller, that clearness could just be on the tire instead of on this, creating an air pocket like this. So that would have been cooler. But it's nice that they went through the effort. Ideally, they would have just tampo printed it, but I guess it's really hard to tampo print onto rubbery tires, I guess. Alright, just going to continue on the side here. So the Richard Mille looks nice and legible. All these little rivet marks look nice and good. The carbon fiber back here looks good. All this sponsorship, it looks nice. The carbon on this vertical is nice, and then you got the 3 gills here all open. So the decal is on top of the clear coat here. Going around to the front, yeah, you got the headlight covers, and this one actually has molded dots for the lights, whereas I think the realistic ones just had a decal for the lights. So interesting. The only issue with the molded dots is they're not, they don't look like they're on at all. Like on the images, they look like white circles. Here, they're just kind of like dark circles, but let me just see. I almost think that it might be photo etched. Oh boy, this thing's so small. Focus. It's hard to say, but it's possible though it might be a photo etched piece painted like a black or gray, because you can see kind of some silver getting through on some of the dots, but unfortunately from this angle though the dots show up more. See, now they're showing up, so it might just been the light angle. So that looks good there. Yeah, alright, so maybe they're photo etched and then they just put some black and wiped off the top surface or something, because there you can clearly see that they look like circular, dots. It's just from the front they look all kind of gray. The wing looks good. This chin spoiler, the curvature of it, it's also very thin. Like the edge is very thin, very impressive. These verticals and those 2 horizontals, they're very thin as well. Unfortunately, the 2 horizontals aren't actually on the same level, which makes me think now that they're separate pieces. Yeah, there's probably a photo etch plate, representing that wing. Okay, this is like a recess. Oh, okay, it's going in there. It's got some darkness in there. These little recesses here are nice. And then we have the, whoa, hey, these headlights are this little light bar. I think that's like a piece of polished metal. Yeah, it's catching the light at certain angles again, just like the headlights. Yeah, all right. So those are metallic pieces. These little shapes I'm touching right there. Very cool. And they're I'm guessing on top of the decal. Now see, this decal is under the clear coat, so that's nice. Same here. It's under the clear coat. There's a very thin piece of metal here for this vertical strake. Very cool. Now, unfortunately, see, you can see the air pocket right here underneath this decal. But because I think it's under the clear coat, I don't think it's ever going to be a problem. Unless you go poking that. If you poke that, it's going to crack. Some sort of recesses here. Alright. Some venting of some sort. Looks pretty good. And then the carbon fiber area here, unfortunately it doesn't have a carbon fiber texture, it's just black, but it is nicely glossy, and it's got some rivet marks or something there. Those deflectors above the in front of the tires. It's nice that you can see the tires poking through, and they are rubbery. You can see me literally poking the tire, so that's good. Not that I care. They could be hard plastic, they'd be fine by me. In fact, I'd probably prefer them to be plastic because they won't crack in the future. I very often question rubbery tires in this hobby because on some of my EraQs the tires have cracked in half and stuff, so from age, oxidation. Boy, there's a really fine Richard Mille printing right there in front of the windscreen. Try to focus on it. So really crisp decals. These decals are better than on the realistic versions. Very cool. The windshield here is nice and curved, and it's that thin, I think it's that thin packaging plastic. Yeah, just based on the ability that I can push it in a little bit. And then you have a windshield wiper blade there, perpendicular. Unfortunately, it's not hollowed out. The arm is floating, though, so that's good. Still pretty nice. The Ferrari thing is decaled nicely on the top of the windscreen. Now the side of the cockpit here, we have that thin packaging plastic looking good. Back here, I assume that's like a fuel filler, and that's nice. Two colors, black and silver. More printing. Going to the top here. Oh, we have three metal pieces here for the gills, or the venting here on the next to the cockpit. And then I don't know what that is, like a decal. The mirror has a reflective sticker, I think, or maybe it might even be a piece of metal. Yeah, what is? It's hard to say. I can't tell. It's so small. Okay, let's see anything else on the front. You know what? I do think this is a photo-etched piece of metal now. Like I think the middle rectangle is etched out. Yeah, see under this level of magnification, it is three-dimensional. And that fuel filler, oh, that's a silver ring. That's a fuel. I mean, it's just it looks like a washer actually, but a really cool washer glued on there. So there's silver paint, black paint in the middle, and then a silver washer to look really metallic. Really cool. On the top of the roof, you can see these three strakes. Those are separate inserted metal pieces. Look how thin they are. And then on top of the center scoop on the top of the roof, you have two more. So there's 5 strakes. So very impressive. Lots of pieces going on. That vent there on the top, the scoop as well, it has 3 inlets like the real car has, and all the black paint is there. And then this, whatever this is, maybe a camera, and it's got 2 strakes on top of that, which are metal as well. And these are not painted, they're just shiny stainless, whereas those are painted. Very cool. Wow. You know, I'm magnified a pretty good amount here, and it still looks perfect, so it's very impressive. So look at this vertical strake here in the middle. I mean, it's so smooth, it looks like carbon fiber, it's really nice. I don't know if it's printed and clear coated or decal and clear coated, but it looks fantastic and it feels nice and smooth. Alright, so a little bit more of the black there and the tire, and then we can see the exhausts. I'm going to assume those are the exhausts. And these are actually also better than the realistic ones because they're silver. The realistic ones just have molded black exhausts. But these look like pipes, you know, like real exhaust tips. Maybe those are metal tubes. They're so thin yet so round. Only metal can do that. I don't think you can get such crisp detail out of molded plastic. and they go in a little bit. Wow, this thing is awesome. Okay, well, they've got the Ferrari here, nice and legible, and it's under the clear coat. It's very nice. All this diffuser action, pretty thin. Diffuser looks okay. You can see the wheel or the tire back there. It's all pretty good. The only thing that's missing is the graphic of this tail lamp. This whole edge of the lamp is the tail lights and the backup lights and stuff. So it would have been cool if they had maybe a sticker and they printed on the graphics, or I don't know, just would have been cooler. But oh well. This side, now you can see that this rear brake rotor looks awesome, and the caliper looks awesome too. Look how three-dimensional and detailed that brake caliper is. Very nice. Oh wow, there's a helmet inside of this thing. I think that's a driver's helmet. This red and white. It's right, Santander Banking or something. And is this the bolster for the helmet? Oh, the seat? I don't know. We'll have to get to the front. Wow, there's an actual helmet in here. This is crazy. Oh, it's just so hard for me to... Alright, focus. There we go. Look at that. That is just crazy awesome. How can I hold this and get light in there? If I hold it like this, and then I hit focus. Alright, so look at this. That helmet is just awesome. It's the decal. It's got the blacked out visors. Got the Ferrari logo on there. Santander Banking. It's a realistic looking helmet inside of a miniature interior. That is just crazy. Wow. Man, why a model? You guys outdid yourself. This might be the nicest model you guys have made. Like ever. Including even your realistic looking stuff. For me at least. I can totally understand if you don't like this kind of content. But I like it because if it doesn't look realistic, I don't get so critical, right? It's no need to look... I don't need to be critical if it doesn't exist in reality. What I'm trying to see is... Oh, what else is down there? There's some yellow there. What is that? I don't know. The vestigial seat or something. Now it looks like white to the left of the driver. What is that stuff? Get some more. 65 lumens. Oh, that might be too bright, but... Oh, no, that's just I guess the other seat. Oh, and there's the headrest bolster on the left. But I don't think the passenger seat is actually functional in these cars. And there's a little steering wheel in front of that helmet. One of those, like, D-shaped or notebook kind of shaped steering wheels, but I don't think there's anything on it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a decal on that steering wheel, but it's so close to the helmet, I cannot tell. Alright, I didn't even notice the venting back here. Alright, so you can see the 3 strakes there in this venting behind the front fender. Very cool. Wow. This is awesome. And then the bottom I didn't really talk about, but it's got a nice funky WEC logo there. And this thing is... It's like this is a 3-piece base. Interesting. So 1 piece, 2 piece, and this 3rd piece has a graphic under it printed on the bottom side. So that's really, really cool. And then you got that crazy etch thing. What would have been nice though is if it said 2023 Le Mans winner, or just 2023, so you know when this 2023 Le Mans, because if they put out the number 50 car, that didn't win the race. But at least it would be nice to know what this car raced in, and this people would also realize this is actually based off of a real car. Man, this is this is awesome. Ah, boy, yeah, okay. So unfortunately, I'm not going to take the top off because I've already taped it and cleaned off the box. But these fine models, I mean, what are they thinking having the wheels like a gunmetal color? And then if you look really close, the molding flash between the spokes is just atrocious. So it's not good. It's not good. This is actually a better model, even though it's a cartoon version, than these. I mean, these don't have drivers in them either. I mean, I still gotta say these are pretty fantastic models with all the parts and all that stuff. It's just the glaring wheel choice is just a letdown. Whereas this thing, there's no letdowns at all because there's just perfection going on here. All right, so that's that. Let's get these out of the way. You can get an idea of the deformation. You know, this is actually a little bit wider as well. But it's not very short. It's not half as short. It's maybe 1/3, 30% shorter than it should be. So I would say it's safe to say the standard for deformed cars is EraQ because they've existed since like 1984, I think. This is a Mercedes, Sauber Racing. I think this actually may have won the Le Mans as well. But you can see the EraQs are smaller. Here's a Toyota TS010, I think. Yeah, that's what it says on the bottom. This is an Audi. Also, this may have won Le Mans. Audi dominated Le Mans in their 2000s. Early 2000s. This actually won Le Mans as well. I just forget what year. The Mazda 787B. Nissan's GT1 effort never won, but it's still cool looking. There's a lot of these almost, well, most of them have 3D printed wheels. No, maybe I'm wrong. Just that one and the Mazda. And then thankfully someone left a comment. This is a Panos LMP1, but it came from a set called Valiant, which was a cartoon show of some sort. So, now that I see it, it does look like that Panos. Alright, so you can collect deformed LMP cars. And here's the top view to show the size difference there with this YM. Naturally, I'd like them to all be the same size, but it's not so bad. I mean, if it has to be a little bit bigger to get that much detail into it, that's fine by me. Alright, let's get some resin models up here. So we have a 250 GTO. This was done by Little Egg. I haven't seen this one re-released. I'm quite surprised, but it's never come out again. The really weird thing about this one is I put on one windscreen wiper on purpose. They could have easily had two. I don't know what they were thinking by putting on one. Alright. And then we have this AMG GT3 by YM model. And so this was fantastic as well. I mean, you can see the interior of that one, right? The gauges and all that stuff. The carbon, graphic. No, wait. Yeah, the front chin has carbon, but the rear wing doesn't, which is weird. Strange. Okay. This is, I mean, as nice as this model is, I don't think that's a realistic car. I don't think that car existed in the real world. But even if it did, this has much more stuff going on. There's a lot more parts going on there. It just looks fantastic. Here's a Spoon FT2. This is also by YM model. There's around 600 of these put out. You notice this also says EraQ. So EraQ is some sort of like line of deformed cars, but it's not necessarily always made by YM model, I think. Maybe some other brands get involved, like Aero 404 or something. That one's also cool. The central driving position, like this, I think was the fastest front-wheel drive race car at a certain track. And the last one is a Ferrari again, but it's F1 style. And this is the F2007, I think, driven by Kimi Räikkönen, I think. I say that because some of the models don't match the base plates, and this was done by Mini Racing. You can get these F1 cars, but not by this brand. So this brand, I think, is gone now, and now they re-released some different F1 cars under a new brand, maybe? I forget. I can't track all this stuff. I have too many reviews going on, so apologize for that. You can see the F1 car is absolutely huge, though. I mean, actually, I got a top view. So this Mercedes is smaller. It's still probably big. It's still bigger than a EraQ. Which, hold on. Just gonna pull a random EraQ up here. Yeah, so the Mercedes is still bigger than the EraQ. But the Ferrari is bigger than that, and then that F1 car is just much bigger. Well, the real F1 cars are huge now, so maybe you could see that making sense. What doesn't make sense, though, in this cartoon universe is the tire size. You know, these tires are so tall. They're taller than like this car almost, right? So, yeah. Well, anywho, this is just awesome. This is possibly the nicest cartoon model that's around 1/64 scale. It might be the nicest cartoon model there is, actually. I don't know of other like larger scales, really. Do they exist? I don't know. Please leave a comment. Do they exist to this level of execution and detail, you know, with all the photo etched parts and all that stuff, and an actual race car driver inside of the thing? That just blows my mind. So very impressive, very impressive. YM model, fantastic. And generally your brand doesn't really let me down. I can't recall complaining too much when I review your stuff. So you guys actually have some sort of quality control, I think. And I think you guys got to continue what you're doing. I would love to see pretty much anything that you guys do. If you want to do more LMP cars, like go back and do some of the classic ones, like the 956, the 962, a deformed McLaren F1. I know that Finework does one, but you have to paint that stuff yourself. Oh boy, if you made a deformed McLaren F1 that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, I would buy that for sure. Anyways, if you guys like this sort of stuff, you got to leave comments on, you know, this and other people's channels, although I think I'm the only clown reviewing these things. Because if these companies don't hear from you asking for stuff, you're never going to get new stuff, right? It's pretty rare to get new deformed cars of this, you know, price level and detail level. So please leave comments on their websites and social media. But anyways, I can't say enough good things about this thing. It's just awesome. This is so cool. It's so much better than the realistic looking ones. So if you like this stuff, stay tuned, because I'll definitely continue collecting tuned cars. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye now.